Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, if you're a public figure in the making, you're not going to want to miss this next segment. We're going to teach you how to unleash your inner celebrity. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, for better or for worse, we judge people by how they enter a room. How do they show up? Do they show up with swagger, or are they a wallflower? And if they're being interviewed or they're having to give a speech and they look nervous, if you're watching CNBC, a CEO who's nervous can actually tank their stock price. So having a great presence has never been so important. To talk about that today, Elizabeth Moraes. She is an image and visibility and presence strategist. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for including me today.
Well, I'm honored. We've known each other for several years now, and I've always admired your social media, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But let's talk about your background. How did you find yourself in this role?
Ooh, that's a big evolution. Very long and in-depth evolution, but I'm a former professional dancer and choreographer. And fast forward to about 2016, 2017, I was helping entrepreneurs in transformational coaching. And I was trying to find my niche, helping people with their mindset and trying to find my own niche. And during that time, that's when online entrepreneurs really had to start getting on video. And Facebook Live was coming into play. And so many of them were thinking, I have no idea how to do this. I'm terrified. I know what I'm really good at doing in my business, but I cannot be in front of the camera. And so they were stopping themselves from really making the biggest impact that they can with a tool that's pretty much free. And so I then at that time transferred my knowledge and my expertise in coaching myself as a performer, but also professional performers. Using those skills, I transfer them into how can I help these entrepreneurs really shine on camera, and so that they feel more confident, but also they come across much more powerful as the main person who knows what they're talking about. And then that transferred then onto stage as well.
And I think, honestly, you could make or break a deal just based on gut. I mean, we all make these decisions. If somebody doesn't look you in the eye or they're fumbling around for words, we instantly have a credibility problem with them.
Within seconds. I mean, that first impression is huge. Like you said, the eye contact, their posture, how they walk into the room. You mentioned, when someone walks in the room, you can say so much without saying a word, by just how you walk in and how you stand and how you interact with people.
She has a beautiful website. We're going to pull up the website, and if we scroll down the website, let's talk about some of the coaching that you offer.
Definitely. Well, a lot of times people with coaching on camera will primarily work on delivery, and then they will create the videos as well. What I do is with my transformational coaching that I spoke about, I start with the person inside first. So we work with your confidence, because there's so many high achieving people out there in their profession. They're amazing. They're top of their industry, but they are afraid of what they don't know. They don't know what they don't know. And so I walk in and I say, okay, these are the things that you really need to be aware of. What is holding you back? Let's address those. So we work on that. And then we go into your personal branding. How are you presenting yourself? What are you wearing? What do you really want to share with the world of who you are authentically? And then we go into your public presence, your personal and public presence. How are you showing up when you go to those events, when you show up on the news, when you go into creating your own video content? What does that look like? And then we create the actual video content as well.
And I'm a big fan of Elizabeth's social media because she is always posting these amazing tips. Here's one.
By improving how you communicate and how you can connect with those that you're communicating with,
can drastically change your life for the better. In this video, I want to share with you 5 simple steps that will help you improve your communication and your connection with those who you are wanting to share your message with. Step 1 is to video yourself, speaking directly to the camera. Just speak about your day or tell a story, or it could be a recording of you literally speaking to an audience. Step 2 is to now play that video back, but don't watch it, only listen. Listen to how you are speaking. This is your vocal signature. What's the intonation like? What's your speed like? Do you pause? Are you monotone? What's the volume? Step 3 is now watch it without the sound. This is now your visual signature. Watch your body mannerisms, your nonverbal communication. How are you gesturing? What's your posture like? How are you moving through space? Step 4 is now to have your video transcribed. Once you have that printed, now you're going to take a highlighter and mark all the ums and ahs, all the filler words, the right and the all of those you're going to highlight. Your 5th step is to now make a list of all the things that you want to improve upon, and now approach one at a time, so that every time you now get in front of the camera or on stage or in front of someone communicating, you think, okay, now I'm going to work on changing the variation of speed when I speak, or when I am speaking, I'm going to use more pauses and the like. Utilize these 5 steps and you will definitely improve your communication skills. My name is Elizabeth de Moraes. I invite you to check out my profile to learn more about me and what I can share with your audience.
And you have such great tips. Let's talk about, we're about to show a video, and I want you to set it up for us.
Definitely. Well, this is a video of a client. Her name is Marla Lackey. We're going to show you the before and the after. When you're watching the before, I want you to really think about, what is her body language like? How is she speaking? She is speaking off the cuff in both the before and the after. I want you to see how she's kind of fumbling around during the before. And also, I want you to listen to some of her insecurities and see how many of those relate to you. How many can you relate to as well? And then you're going to see a 180 change in terms of after working together. This is a woman who was terrified to get on camera. She had a big vision of and she still does, a huge vision of the type of impact she wants to make in the world as an author, as a speaker, and she was terrified to get on camera. And then when you watch the after, she had just spoken to over a few thousand people alone on a huge stage, and I want you to watch how she transformed. Just the beauty is so exciting, and every time I watch it, I get teary. So probably when we get back, I will be teary, because it's so amazing to see someone transform and step into their purpose of what God created them to do. And she talks about being innocence, a prisoner in her own mind. So
love it. Let's go ahead
it.
and roll the tape.
Hello, my name is Marla Lackey, and I'm from Spring Branch, Texas. This is a big deal for me to be online and to be live, so bear with me if I get a little, mixed up here, because I get a little nervous and can't seem to get all my words out just right, but that's why I'm here. The perfectionism that I have grown up with has plagued me. And when I can't think of the right things to say, that I tend to fumble with my words. And when I do that, it frustrates me. I feel like the perfectionism in me always wants to have everything prepared so that I don't have to talk off the cuff like I'm doing right now. So that's what I'm hoping to learn, to overcome that obstacle and that limited self-belief that I have to have everything just right in what I say and do. I don't like my voice, especially when I hear it after the fact. It makes me cringe. What I say, how I look, everything just paralyzes me, and I'm tired of it. I want to get past it. I have so much to share regarding my blog and my upcoming book that I'm just a prisoner in my own mind, and I'm hoping that I can get past this quicker than I can think about.
To know that I have graduated in this last few years, I can see it, because before it was behind a camera, and today it's been on a stage in front of over 1,000 people. And there again, I had Elizabeth there to support me all the way down to the details of how to be powerful in front of not just the camera, obviously, but powerful in front of people, and to be polished. And so she showed me things. I'm talking whether it's the walk, my stance, my expressions, and the things that really make a difference to fine tune who you are and what you're doing in front of people. And that to me is valuable information. And she teaches in a way like that is so gentle. And I embrace that so much, because as a perfectionist, it's very hard to get critiqued and to just learn on the sidelines of the things that you need to know. And Elizabeth she just has it. She just has that way of providing so much love and support and knowledge to just get you where you want to be, whether it's in front of the camera or whether it's in front of people. And whoever needs to have some sort of coach or any kind of support, I am the one to be a testimony to the powerful ways in which she can transform a person, because I'm that person. What you're seeing right now, I just finished speaking, like I said, in front of thousands of people, and I couldn't have done this without her. And I've got such positive feedback, and I want to just look off to my side and say, it's because of her. I learned my part, but I also learned her part too, that made it all worthwhile.
Wow, I can see why you get a little teary when you watch that.
Amazing.
Yes.
I just like, yes.
Okay, talk about your process, because clearly she was in her head and not in her heart. How did you get her out of her head?
My first thing is to figure out exactly what is the reason why they were placed here on this planet, and have them just start talking about it. Like, what kind of impact do you want to make? What is your message? What is your lesson that you've gone through? And to hear the person say that, then I can say, okay, when you got into that place of describing this is what I saw in you. This is the energy that came out. Can we keep touching in on that? And then also, of course, on the side, say, okay, what are your insecurities? What do you hate about yourself when you see yourself on camera? Because 9 times out of 10, nobody else sees it. And if they do, they don't care. But it really is affecting you. And it's really, I have to help them understand that it's about the people who they need to touch, not about them.
Wow.
And so we work on that.
You know, my favorite moment of that before and after is how she strutted out on stage like she owned the joint.
And that's what I teach as well. Because I said, how are you going to walk out on stage? She goes, oh, I'm just going to walk out. I said, no, you need to stand there for a moment. You hear your name, pause. And then you strut yourself out there, and then you get in the middle of that stage, and you pause again, and you wait for people to.
And it looked like you were there for that performance.
I was.
What was it like as soon as she was done?
Oh, tears. Because I mean, here's a woman like we saw in the video where she was terrified of getting even just on camera to go live inside a small Facebook group, and then to see her walk out on that stage, and then completely mesmerized the entire audience. Then they're in tears from her story. And then for her to walk off, it was, I mean, we grabbed each, I ran backstage because I was watching the whole time and getting video footage, and I ran back. And it was one of those long, long hugs where she just started sobbing, because she finally was fulfilling what she knew she was supposed to do. And have you seen A Star Is Born? Mm-hmm. Okay, you know that moment where she's backstage and he grabs her. He's like, "You need to come out now." She's like, "No," and you see that push pull, and then she's finally like, "Okay, I'm going to go." And that's my role, I feel, with people. So when I can pull them out and I see their greatness, they know there's a greatness inside of them, but they're terrified to put it out there. Because when it stays inside, it stays precious, it stays beautiful. And what if it gets judged? What if it isn't as good as I think it is? Well, and I'm the one who goes, come on, let's go.
And clearly you found your purpose, because in order for you to coax people into their greatness, you have to have a kind heart, point out some of their weaknesses without shattering them.
Oh, completely. It's just because they don't know. And then I fully believe that they then can, if they have the right tools, they can learn in their own authentic way, not to try to be someone else, be themselves and shine as brightly as who they are. And I just massage it out.
Love it. Okay, we've got a couple minutes left. Look into the camera and talk to the person who is watching this saying, man, I think I found my coach. Talk to that person.
Definitely. Well, you know that you were made for bigger things. You know that you're holding yourself back. You know that you're afraid of not knowing what you don't know, and you want to write a book. You want to speak on stages. You want to maybe be even in movies, in commercials. You have so many sides to yourself that you know are not being expressed right now. And you just need that one person to, just hold your hand along the way. You saw in that video where we were backstage and we were doing some warm-ups. Then I was also the one who said, okay, I'm going to go backstage and just look and see the audience. I'm going to go watch them. I'm going to come back and tell you what the energy is like. What kind of energy do you need to bring forward to really engage them? If you need someone like that who's just holding your hand, but also who will say, okay, it's time to go. You need to go. You are ready for this. And to then give you also the skills for you then to confidently go out and speak in the way that you know you need to speak and be fully expressed so that you can make that the impact that you know you are made to make. And then also, so you're no longer stopping yourself and allowing your soul, in a sense, to be crushed. You know that you might be fearful of going out there, but you know that the pain of not going out there is far worse. And if you don't do something about it, if you don't start expressing yourself in all these different ways, through books, through speaking, through getting on camera, whatever that looks like, you know that your soul is going to just diminish and die. I know that from my own self, and I also know that from my clients as well. And it's just time to step out and seriously unleash your own inner celebrity.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your heart, your wisdom, and your passion with the world. We're going to end with her website, which is eliproductions.tv. Elizabeth, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.